welcome to my YouTube channel, Ask Auntie Missy, where we answer life's tricky questions and talk about things that we all think about, but maybe don't necessarily want to talk about because they seem a bit controversial. My name is Yemisi Awutoye, and it's a joy to have you here. On today's episode, I will be talking about something near and dear to my heart, which is motherhood. I am a daughter to someone that I consider a living legend. My mom showed us what it means to sacrifice. She showed us what it means to be responsible. She showed us what it means to be strong and kind and brave and all kinds of good stuff. So I am also a mother, and I will be talking to you about a topic that you've probably heard different opinions about, which is, do children owe their parents anything? The idea that children owe their parents is probably something you've heard about. And there are different ways to look at it, depending on what culture is influencing your point of view. There are people who believe that you give your all to your children so that when you're older and unable to take care of yourself, the children reciprocate that care. There are also those who believe that the children didn't ask to be born, and because they didn't ask to be born, you have no right to expect anything of them. Whatever you did was something you were supposed to do. You were basically fulfilling your obligations and discharging your responsibilities to them. So you don't have a right to expect anything in return. So if they do choose to care for you, it should be something they do of their own volition. I personally believe that children need to be trained, children need to be taught, and we need to model certain things before children. So like I said at the beginning, I grew up in a household where my mother taught us all kinds of things. And one of the most distinctive things my mom taught us was generosity. I watched my mother, I watched my grandmother go out of their way, not just to bring other people's children into our homes, but they hosted with such grace and love that it was difficult for me to grow up and feel that I was entitled. So naturally, when I became a mom, that's something I decided to model to my children. A few years ago, I made a decision that I would train my children to give back without a sense of entitlement attached to it. What do I mean by that? When they were much younger than this, I took them to Dollar Tree one day, close to, I think it was Mother's Day or my birthday. They're not very far apart, but I basically took them to Dollar Tree when back in the day when Dollar Tree was still Dollar Tree. Now it's $1.25 or $1.50, $5 tree. But yeah, back in the day it was just exclusively Dollar Tree. And I gave them $1 and some change to buy something for me. I basically told them, go around the store, pick an item for me that you will give to me on Mother's Day. And I know, everybody will have their own opinion about it, but I knew what I was trying to pass across to them. So it was my money, but they got to pick the gift. I wanted to teach them to give back without the mindset that, oh, mom is supposed to give us something or dad is supposed to give us something every time it's our birthday or Christmas or a special occasion, but we have no responsibility toward them. Truly, yes, it's not a responsibility in that sense, but there is a mindset of entitlement that comes from feeling that everybody owes you, you owe nobody else. And I didn't want my children to grow up that way. So anyway, I gave them the dollar and some change, and I stood and I was watching out for them. They went around the store, picked a gift, and then they went to check out, and I stood back. I didn't want to see what they were giving because I wanted it to be a surprise. I was hoping for some elements of surprise. And they did surprise me. This is what my children got that year. This was probably 5-6 years ago. And it's called the Mom State of Mind, that tells them my current mood. So the different options are energetic, impulsive, annoyed, exhausted, blessed, frazzled, laid back, and The second part of it says, my mood could be better if you do what I say. Stop whining, go to your room, clean up that mess, stop rolling your eyes, give me a break, admit it, I'm right, and so on. Now, it came with this thing that I don't want to pull out because it's so hard to pull in because I haven't used it in a while. But anyway, it came with this and it has all these holes. I don't know if you can see it, that I could basically take out and stick into whatever my mood was or whatever I felt they could do. I think it came with about 2 or 3 of these. I can't find them anymore. But honestly, this is perhaps one of the things that I value most as a tangible gift from my children, because it felt like they put effort into it. It felt like they did go out of their way to find something. Like I said, they were much younger then. The following year, I decided, okay, you have some money. So I said, I want you to buy me something. I'm not going to take you to the store. And one of them said, how are we supposed to buy if we don't have an account? I said, I'm glad you asked. Call so-and-so person, ask them what they think mom would like, and tell them that you will give me the money to transfer to them, and they should help you order that thing and have it delivered to me. So I called the person. I said, my children are going to call you. When they ask you what I want, tell them I want sunglasses. I found the link to the sunglasses. I sent it to the person. I made sure it was within that budget range. It wasn't something I absolutely needed, but again, I was trying to teach them something. So they ordered the sunglasses, they put it in a bag, and prior to that time, I would get, free leg rub coupons. You know how children just give you those free things, and they would say, oh mom, you get to use this whenever you like, or free whatever, free massage, free massage indeed. But it had gotten to the point where I felt that I need you to start learning to spend money on other people. Fast forward to the 2 years, 3 years down the line. At this point, they have started a business. I'll probably talk about the business in another episode. But they had started a business and they were making some money. So at that point, I said, you know what? Now I can take you to the store and you go around. This time, I'm not giving you money. Take out of your money and pay for it. They bought me dresses. They bought me a few nice pieces that I actually genuinely love. But beyond whatever they're giving me, I'm seeing my children actually step up to say, we want to help somebody else. We want to give. I remember I was talking the other day about somebody whose tuition needed to be paid. And one of them said, oh, I think I have some money, I could pay that. And it just warmed my heart to see that generosity. So last year, I didn't want them to spend money on anything, but I still wanted them to do something. So I said, you know what I want this year? I'm going to give you notebooks. So I bought these 2 journals or notebooks, whatever you want to call them. I gave one to one child and the other one to the other child. And I said, go around at school, at church, around even grocery stores when you're with me. Ask moms the best thing their children have ever done for them. I wanted them to hear from other moms what they thought was a good thing to do for your mom. So they went ahead and they collected some very, very interesting quotes. I will post some of them at the end of towards the end of the video, but I want to read out a few things to you. So one mom said, he gave me a hug and said, when I grow up, I want to marry someone just like you. Another one said, he randomly said, thanks for believing in me, even when I did not believe in myself. Another person said, with mom guilt and doubt in full swing, sometimes there is nothing sweeter than an unsolicited, unplanned I love you from my child. Whether it be once or 1,000 times a day, I choose to embrace it and believe in it. We collected several, so this is just one person's notebook, but there are a lot in each of the notebooks. So I will type them up and just paste them at the end of the video. But I hope that this has kind of shown you a couple of things about how you can train your child to be generous without necessarily making them feel that they owe you, right? It's not about owing me, it's about learning to take care of other people the same way that they are also sacrificing and giving up things for you. It's about learning to take the initiative to give back on your own. They're at the point now where I don't need to say anything. This year I didn't have to suggest anything. I feel that I have, spoken to them about it enough for them to know. So now, they asked me specifically, Mom, do you want anything? I said, no, just do whatever, works for you. But the fact that they are thinking about it, for me, is a big deal, because I don't want to raise children who grow up and feel that, oh, my spouse should take care of me, but I don't need to do anything for them. No, that's not how life should be. So I hope that this has been fun. I hope that this has been enlightening in some ways. I want to take a special moment to say Happy Mother's Day to every mom out there. God sees you, your children see you, and there is a reward that's coming. Hang in there. There might be good days, there might be bad days, there might be all kinds of in-between days. But I want to remind you, you are doing the Lord's work, and there is a reward nobody can take away from you. Have a good rest of your week. Bye.